Well, 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 here we are, Raised Voices. We are back. How is everyone doing today? Miss Sounds is here with me.
Hello.
She's in the
Yes, I
building.
am. Hey,
She's in the
everybody.
building. She's in the building. It's good when she's in the building. Listen, we did not have something scheduled in particular today. What we wanted to do was really just check in with each other, with you, and just have a very organic, unplanned conversation. So we're hoping wherever you are, you will tune into this live. You will leave comments and you will reach out to us because we're very interested in knowing what topics do you want us to discuss. And maybe we can get a guest, right? That's in that field if it's a very deep dive to have the conversation with. So we're just here. So Miss Sounds, how are you doing today?
Today, Miss Sounds is doing amazing. I have great energy this morning, this afternoon. I've just been really grateful. Today was a lot of gratitude for my journey in personal growth and development. I was just very grateful to be aware, of the things that um have that have been a part of my history, but also understand that I can transcend that and live as like more than a conqueror of those things. So I'm just very grateful today.
I'm tired. Oh, y'all thought this was gonna be all positive. Organic in the moment of how we're actually doing. Oh, for some reason, some of the humidity got to me today. And it just kind of slowed me down. And I don't like to be slowed down without my permission. So that's
Yes.
how I'm really doing today is that I'm having to remind myself about the slow and steady that I talk about, that with or without my permission, not to fight against it. Because today I was like, man, by this time I want to get like 10 things down off of the list. And I got two. And I'm like, I was starting to feel a little bit of a way about
Mm.
that. Right. So I'm glad that talking with Miss Sound, she mentioned the word gratitude because I didn't get there till she now said it. Okay, sometimes I need help. I didn't. I really was trying to figure out why I hadn't gotten up to speed. So thank you for the buzzword gratitude. I didn't think of that. I'm not gonna lie out here. I just now thought of that I should have used that when I was starting to judge myself. Yep, I said it. I was.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
It is a very grounding thing. Gratitude is one of those things that makes you go, oh yeah, life is really about this, not that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. One of the things it reminds me of, again, unplanned to talk about, but want to mention here is, you know, being that I'm a provider type mentality, sometimes I struggle to understand that everybody is not doing well. I just have this perception that everyone's hustling, everyone's bringing in the bread, everybody's making sure the family's doing well. And no matter the struggle, everybody's winning. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine who reached out to let me know there were some changes in her life. And I got to tell you, a lot of people are not doing well. They're
Mm.
not. And sometimes as individuals, and I put myself in the seat, you can feel as if, no, we're all doing it. And you can sometimes miss that instead of beating up yourself for not being able to do all the things you want to do. And I said want to, but you're able to do things you need to do. When you hear
Yeah.
someone's story, then it brings you back to reality. So that did happen to me because I was, I was in that space of thinking there was so much I wanted to accomplish today. Felt I had not arrived there. And then reflecting back on the conversation I had with a very dear friend of mine and realized that Yeah, we're not all winning. So on any level that you are winning, celebrate that. So I
Yeah,
got some
no,
humility.
that's good. That's good. That made me think of something just in a moment about just I do there are times where I am just like I wish that I got more done and forgetting that it's more about the heart in which I do them with versus how much I got done. And
Yeah.
that part punches me in the mouth a lot because I am um I think that quantity
Yes.
means, you know, effective. And I think
Yes.
that it's just the quality in which you approach the thing, no matter how much you were able to do. If you put your whole self into that thing,
Yeah.
I think it's worth acknowledging.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm Miss Sounds doesn't know I'm gonna go where I'm about to go, but she's very good at jumping in when I've already had the car started. Right? Wait, I thought you were
Yes,
taking
I
the
am.
garbage out, but now I've started the car. She's like, oh, so we're going somewhere. Cause
Right.
right. So so there was a
Yeah.
conversation
I
we
thought I I thought we was jogging to the car a little bit. Yeah.
right. Were we going down the road? Okay. So one of
Right.
the things we had started to talk about behind the scene was some of the fears I had as a single mother in not being able to catch all of the corners for my children, like to make safety. You know how when you have the toddler and you're you're childproofing the kitchen, the bathroom, going up a staircase or whatever have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about that briefly where I think all of this ties in because it was a couple of days ago that we started down that track of just some of my fears that I want to be able to make sure that my children have all that they need, but also not always miss out on their wants because I am a person of rules and discipline and structure, and that's who I am. I have gotten a lot more flexible, is the word I will use, on many of the rules, but there are some that are still rigid. They're there and they will take me time to loosen up. So I was talking to Miss Sounds about some of those fears and that I know it's time to really reinvestigate them and to take my hands off of certain things and just see what happens before having the contingency plan already in place. And
Mm,
so this leads into this topic of what I was saying that Miss Sound just said that the battle of quantity versus quality is ever present. And
mm,
that reminded me of our conversation where I would say that that's it. That clearly defines some of the fear I have because I don't necessarily have a consistent person to tag in just to make sure as I'm off doing business, hustling, working, producing, that what I would like my kids to have as if I was there, that someone is there. And so you get this fear of just don't allow them to do it because you're not going to be there to save them.
yeah.
And it is that struggle of quantity versus quality. And it is a
Mm,
place where I have to say to myself, if you've given enough core values, step away and let's see if the core values stand up firm, even though you're not there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we were discussing the ways in which because you when you talked about the toddler, that's me. That's where I'm at in my stage of parenting, right? And I was taking a walk outside with her,
Mm,
and I noticed that I had an agenda for what I wanted the time to be like. So this amount of time, all right, let's go back inside.
mm,
And I stopped and I let her lead for a bit because I wanted to watch where her body was telling her to go for a little bit. I was still there for
yeah.
protection. I was still there to say, too far, but I wanted to observe how she navigated life without any pressures from an external force, just her body telling her, oh. And so when I kind of followed her, I saw her exploring places that I never walked before, you
Yes.
know, and I saw her taking in the beauty of the scenery like I've never done before.
Yeah.
just really zoning in on these little nuances in nature that I never stopped to think about, because she's smaller than me, so she will see smaller little details, right?
Yeah.
And so that made me think about our conversation, because there is a sense in which we are responsible for our kids. We are
Yeah.
responsible for their well-being. We are responsible to tell them, hey, there's danger around the corner, right? And then there is this dance, though, that we do have to kind of let them lead in some cases, within the boundaries, lead and follow what instinctually feels right for them
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. See, I love the beauty of when you describe it.
No.
Beauty of that, because I would say that in that stage, when my children were at that stage, I was better with that, more instinctive.
Okay.
But I would also say that some childhood triggers and traumas come up at different stages. As
Mm-hmm.
my children are developing, I'm trying to actually protect them from some of the things that happen to me, even though they're not in the same
Sure.
environment. You know, I've worked hard for them not to be in that environment, and yet I'm protecting them from something that it's not that it would never happen, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so I realize it's much more about me, right? In that instance, that protective nature and that rule
Yeah.
is almost more a boundary for me to be sure that if I don't backtrack, then they can't fall. Like it's, and so
Mm.
that's what I'm discovering. Um,
Mm.
it used to be about control. I can honestly say today it's not about control, but it really is, or it's not about controlling them. It is to make sure I don't go backwards to any of those experiences, because if I do, I violate their freedom now. And it's a
Mm.
heavy. It's just a heavy
Yeah.
thought to always have, because I was taught to be responsible. And so that even when I want to break being responsible, yeah, I want to be a rebel sometimes. I do. I
Come
don't do
on.
well at it in some aspects at all. I'm like, oh yeah, no, no, let's just go back to this boundary and just chill
Yeah.
out here. But sometimes you do want to be a rebel, but in those particular cases of what I'm talking about, I don't want to be a rebel in those cases because I have no protection, right? So I will say this lightly and carefully here. There are things that I was exposed to at 10 that for me, my daughter getting to that age was a triumph, not being exposed to those things. It
Amen.
means something to me. It just does. it
Mm.
just, it means something to me. There are things that I went through as a teenager that when my children embark on teenage, I'm going to celebrate them not having that same exposure and or experience. Now, that being said, I also have to be careful that if there is a trigger that comes up for me, I have to be careful how that displays, because all enemies are not outside of you. All right, we
Mm.
getting heavy. I didn't know all this was going to come out today.
You know, that's real. That's real.
It's real.
That's real.
It's real. And that's why that word gratitude, I'm so glad you said it. I didn't even know I needed it, right? That's the thing about it.
Mm.
I did today. I needed to hear
Yeah.
it from someone I trust, right? So
Mm.
thank you. I mean, all of that was to say that when I tell you guys that we are on personal development journeys, like we're not throwing that word out there just to be in the crowd. Like we really want to get this thing right. We
Yeah.
want to do well. We want to be well inside, feel well, so that when we say to you, you can be okay, that is
Yeah.
coming from a place of practical,
Yeah.
not theoretical, but
Yeah.
practical. We've done some work and we have struggled with these feelings and these thoughts. And what we're seeing is that anxiety and depression is not an option for us. Yes, it's going to
Mm.
come knock at the door. It's not an option for us because we just want to do as much work as we can every day. So,
Absolutely.
man, we went down the road there. I
Absolutely.
don't know.
No, this was a great conversation. No, it was great. I wanted to say one more thing about So there's some compassion we can offer ourselves. I think motherhood brings that out of us, regardless
Ooh,
if whatever the topic is. I have things that, I saw in family structures growing up that I don't want that for my daughter, right? And so there may be things that make me more militant when I see them coming up,
yes,
because I don't want that to crush her. I don't want that to crush her. You know what I mean? I think I see her as a precious vessel that deserves the fullness of life, right? And so that's where my mama bear is gonna come out and really be aggressive with it.
yes.
But I think that there's a lot of compassion we could offer ourselves by saying we're doing it because we really love them. We
We
love these
love them.
kids.
Yeah,
It's not malicious, it's not manipulative. It's I love this child. I love these
yes,
children, and I'll do whatever I need to do to protect them from things that, I didn't feel protected from, Um, but I think like from that compassion, offering ourselves that friendship to ourselves to say, it's okay, you love them. That's why you're doing this. Um,
right.
then we can explore frameworks and values for them
Yes,
versus the rigidity, right? Because the
yes,
rigidity is saying my way is the only way to go about life. And then the
right.
frameworks and those frameworks will allow them to really dance within the value system we set up in our
Yes,
household. So if
yes,
love, if positive communication or affirmation is a value in the household, then they
yes,
they can dance within the framework and value of positive communication. But how their positive communication comes out, we can't dictate, and
right.
that's the part we still figuring out in our own.
Yeah, oh yes, that's the word, figuring out. No, it's so true. It's so true. And then another thing, and I'm a single parent, not ashamed of it, wear it as a badge of honor because I didn't choose a selfish path. I wanted to be the parent that stayed and was active and go through the up and down and the stress. I'm choosing all of that.
Yeah.
I'm choosing all of that and doing it gratefully and would not change that. Like for real. Like any complaint I could have, I would never choose anything else. Would go through this 100 times over. But the
Yeah.
other thing that I am learning to remind myself about, because you can know a thing and just not apply it often enough to remember it. I can't I can't do everything right all the time, but I
Come
want
on.
to.
I
See,
know.
this is the problem. I want to. I want
Yeah.
to go do push-ups with my son and do 50 of them
Yeah.
and run the business and teach my daughter to cook extremely well. And still pay the bills and then, do my own workout and be cute and be great in the community and then feed the homeless and yeah, and teach to
Yeah.
dance and
Right.
teach Sunday
Drink a nice little
school.
lemon water and just cool off.
You see how many things on the list? That was one day. That was 24 hours. I want to do all of that. And I think,
Oh my
like Miss
gosh.
Sound was saying, is the compassion sometimes, which is the quality that I don't remember sometimes, is you're still doing enough. Even if you get half of that, if you get half of that done, it does not make you a bad parent. It doesn't make you a lazy parent because you didn't get 10. You got five things. They're still alive. There's no cops beating down your door. CPS has not come for your children. There are A
And they
students, by the
happy.
way, in school. Like, what? But you see how that trauma comes back to say,
Yeah.
you're still not enough. You're still not doing enough. There's still more today. And you ain't even thinking, but maybe I got the rest of the week to finish the list, right? So that is the thing. That word
Mm.
gratitude, I'm just so grateful. You just don't understand. It's really, really allowing me to let my feet touch the ground. Because I think if I was walking in
Yeah.
the air saying, I'm falling, I can't feel the ground, I'm falling. And I'm
Yeah.
in the air. You're not gonna feel the ground in the air, mama.
Exactly. You're suspended. Yeah, you're not.
So sometimes you got to have a person, a conversation, maybe a couple of people that just give you these words, man, that just You can do a full breath, like a full exhale.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I didn't even know I needed that word. I'm back to that. I'm really grateful. And I'm finally can say
Yeah.
that. I'm grateful today because I didn't think of that word on my own. I didn't.
Mm.
I didn't. But it's a
Yeah.
word that I want to look at the definition again and intentionally figure out what does that mean for me today when I need the gratitude that I didn't know I needed to have for myself, for where I'm at in life, for my day, for still being above ground. I hadn't thought of all of those today. And so
Mm.
having this conversation with you is allowing me to say, hey, let's go check those things out. What you need is in the checking out. You're gonna get what you need.
Mm.
Just so
Yeah.
what else do you want to say, Miss Sound? This was wow. Unplanned sometimes is good.
It's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Betray all my rules.
Betraying everything she believes in right now.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
like, plan, prepare.
Yeah. I think to just button up everything on the gratitude point, if I could define what gratitude means to me today in this moment,
Yeah.
after this conversation, I would say that it means that I have another opportunity to love with my whole heart as best as
Yeah.
I can and be loved as well.
Yeah.
That would be my final resting point.
That's good. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna get a
Okay.
button here that says borrow or duplicate. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. And then I want to push it, and then it comes up on the screen what she said, and then put my name next to it, like I said. All right, I'm borrowing in front of her, people. That's not stealing. She's gonna see me do it. I'm telling
We
her in
share.
advance
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. So listen, we hope that you enjoyed our on the spot conversation. I feel better, like seriously, for it. I needed some reminders today. I got the word that I needed for today.
So,
That one word gratitude is significant enough. It is the quality I needed for me to do some more introspective
mm,
work and understand I'm okay. I'm okay.
you're
And I didn't know
okay.
that until this conversation. So we thank you guys for listening in. We are very appreciative of those who have started to engage with us on all the social media platform. TikTok, y'all doing
Yeah.
the thing. I am telling you, y'all are rocking it with the views. Instagram as well. Facebook, you're coming up. And even X. Yeah. Twitter, which is now X. You guys are also showing some love. And YouTube, of course, you continue to rock and be our strongest support. And we have a lot of other things that are coming your way. And we just appreciate you guys. And we really mean that we're not just saying it. And we just hope that you get the conversations out there. We've got new guests that are coming. People
Mhm.
want to have these real conversation and they want to educate and they want to show you that they're there in the community to help you. So we just want to say heartfelt thank you from Raised Voices. We will always bring quality first. We will continue to do our homework. As we showed you today, I needed to pick me up. My co-host was able to do that for me. And we hope together we've done that for you. So have a blessed day until
Yes.
the next time we appear.
Bye, guys.